Hey guys, what's up? It's Greg here, and today I want to do a video showing you guys how you can turn your knowledge that you paid a lot of money for into passive income. That's what I want to cover today. Thank you guys as always for joining me and for being on the channel. I know I haven't done a lot of videos lately, but it's because I have been in a pretty big move, and I'm going to make it up to you on this one. So, when I think of most healthcare providers, I know they feel trapped trading their hours for dollars. And the problem with that is that you're capped, right? And you know that, and I know that. And if you even add a third-party payer to the mix where you're not in control of how much you're charging, it really puts us in a crazy situation. So here we are, we're capped because we're trading hours for dollars. We don't have control over our pay for many of us. And then you add that healthcare or the cost to get into healthcare has just gone up and up and up and up. So all of that together leads to unhappy healthcare professionals. So the question is, can we make this thing actually work for us given all those things that are working against us? And I do believe that is the case. Now, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And I think I could show it to you in 3 steps. And I'm actually going to show you an example of something that I did with a family member a couple days ago. So just stay tuned for all of it. All right. When I go back and I think of myself, I think of, I've been a therapist since 2000. 2000 to 2005, I was working for someone else. I was a staff therapist. Then I went to a clinic director. Then I went to another place, became a clinic director. And I said, okay, enough is enough. There is nowhere else for me to go. If I become better clinically, I'm not going to be able to make any more money. The only thing I could do is go into management, right? So then I went out on my own. I went on my own. Okay, great. I put a lot of money into this place, but I'm still trading, time for dollars, right? And the only way I was able to get out of it was by just hiring a lot of people over time. And then they were trading time for dollars. And I was happier, but they're not happy because they're in the same situation that I was in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, right? So it doesn't work long-term for most people. Even if you're happy and you've got a big set of practice, like most people just say, look, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I think the big shift for me happened, and it started in 2008. So in 2008, I started working as a part-time gig. This is while I had my clinics, by the way, for another physician office that was doing medical weight loss. And basically what they had me do is they had me come to their office on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Anybody that was in their medical weight loss program that wanted to get exercise, like an exercise program done, I would bring on. So initially I thought I was like, I have one person at a time. Well, after the first 2 times that I went, I had 5 clients. It ended up turning into over 2.5 years, 2.5, 3 years, ended up turning into over 315 clients. And that's when I started to do things online and started to realize, wait a minute, there is value in doing one-to-many and doing group models. And it kind of morphed into that. I wasn't planning on it morphing into that, but that's what made the wheels turn. Like, wait, is there other ways that I can treat people and I can take care of people without it always being one-to-one? And so it happened by accident, but that's kind of what I have been doing over the past 10 to 15 years. Okay. One-to-many, group, and creating systems that can help masses of people. Okay. So I want to bring you guys through kind of the steps that I have used. And when I initially did this, and not just did it for those weight loss fitness people, but then when I brought this into my practice, like it did work. And I was able to move it from Beyond Me in 2006-7 to having up to 32 employees by 2014-15. Okay. I was able to do it, but it sucked. It was terrible because I had to build out all of these systems. I did have to document the process and I had to tweak the systems and do this and do that and do all these different things. But today it is actually so much easier to do. And that's what I want to use this video to go over and show you. Look, this is how you actually do it today. All right. So there's 3 steps to how you can turn your knowledge that you paid a lot of money for into a system that you can actually finally monetize the knowledge instead of just giving the knowledge to one patient at a time that is in your clinic or facility or that you work with. All right. So number one, you are going to document what you do repeatedly. Now, can I tell you how I did this before? The way that I would do this is when I decided, okay, I'm sick of training all these employees. I'm sick of having it like do all this stuff. What I would do is I would do this. I would take out a notebook, and then I said, all right, this is what I'm going to do. My next eval that comes in for shoulder, I'm going to write down, okay, this is what I got to do here. All right, this is what I do next. And 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 then what I would do is I would take that and I would use this, this mind mapping platform. It was actually called iThoughts. I don't even think it's around anymore, but I used iThoughts, and iThoughts would, I would map it out and it would turn it into an outline. And then I would take that outline and I would give that outline to my staff. And then over time, I started taking that outline and I said, okay, I'm going to do a video on it, right? And then I would tweak it and I retweak it, and I would actually use my my iPad, and I would like not screen record, but I would like plug my iPad into my MacBook, and I would share the screen and I would like record it. And then over time, this is by like 2015, I started to like house these into a library of videos that I would give to employees, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And then when we started having like the iPhone and this and that, I would actually record like how to, clean the hydrocollator, how to do this, how to do that, how to do the laundry, how to intake a patient, and just do that stuff over and over and over again. It is so much easier today to document. And I want to show you this. So today you have AI tools, and I'm going to show you one right now that I actually did with a family member who was watching one of my previous trainings, who's not in healthcare. Okay. All you have to do is just talk about the thing that you know. You don't have to answer any questions. All you got to do is just sit back and talk. So watch this. I'm going to show you something really cool. All right. So look at this screen here. This here is a platform called Otter. I have an uncle, and my uncle is here. Let me put myself on the screen. So my uncle is a real estate investor. He's actually been in the military for like over 40 years. He just retired recently, and he does real estate investing, right? And so he was on my training that I did, and he was like, Greg, this is so cool. All the things that you're teaching people. He's like, well, how about I do that for me? I was like, well, what do you know? I was like, my people are in the physical therapy space or in the occupational therapy space, or they're chiropractors or physicians, whatever. I was like, well, what do you know? He's like, well, I said, I don't know if I know anything. I was like, Alden, you have, I don't call him uncle. I just call him Alden. I said, Alden, you have how many properties? He's like, well, I have 6 residential, and then I have 72 apartments that I team up with a group of people. I'm like, you know that most people don't have that, right? Okay. So that's the first thing. Like, most people don't have that stuff. I was like, so explain to me like how you decide what places are good for investments. Would that be valuable to the people you want to serve? He's like, yeah, I believe so. I was like, who do people you want to serve? He's like, I want to serve active military people so that when they get out of the military, they have money that is working for them and they're able to replace their military salary. I was like, okay, so here's what I did. This is how I had him document it. Instead of doing all this stuff that I used to do and write all these stuff down, I said, all right, we're going to use this platform. It's called Otter, otter.ai. And basically we're just going to hit record at the top. This one is already done. Can you see? I just started asking questions, and the speaker, that's him, and that's him here, and that's him here, and that's him here. And all I did is I took all this information. Let me move myself over. And I went into ChatGPT and I copied this, said, you are my system architect. I am in your case, it'd be a clinician, but in his case, I'm a real estate investor who wants to turn my individual expertise into a repeatable, scalable system that others can use. And here's what I do for clients or patients for you. And then you're going to insert the details of your specialty, process, or treatment. So this information, everything that he said under speaker 1, I put it into here. I put it in here. I put all of it right between these brackets. And then I said, please break down my process into clear step-by-step process. Turn those steps into a repeatable framework or protocol with a name. And then here's what I want you to do next. I want you to suggest how this system could be used in 3 different ways. 1, to train other clinicians, or in his case, other active military members on my team, to create a group program, a course, or a workshop, or to package as a product or resource for clients or patients. Present it in a way that's easy to follow, like an outline or a playbook. And guys, this is the first step to what it is that you do. You document what you're doing, which is what I did right here with him. I just documented, just had him talk, and he talked for, we didn't even talk for 5 minutes, right? And then I put in this prompt, I put it into ChatGPT, I put everything right here, and then guess what it did? It created his package. It packaged it for scale is what I call it. Package it for scale, which is number 2. And basically what it did is it said, all right, everything that he just said, here is how we can package this to turn it into a system. A system, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, set the financial, phase 4, analyze cash flow, phase 5. And then in any system, you have to be able to not just package it, but you have to be able to make sure it's something that somebody can follow and they're going to get a typical and a repeated and predictable result. And that's it. Document what you do, number 1. Package it by it coming up with the system. That's what it does for you, number 2. And then you decide, okay, well, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to create a step-by-step playbook so it's something you could train people on in a one-to-many format, maybe a workshop? Do you want to turn it into an onboarding framework that people can quickly learn your particular method? Do you want to turn this into a group program? Do you want to turn it into a course? Do you want to turn it into a workshop? My recommendation is turn it into a workshop first so that you can get one-to-many out to people you're leveraging, but then you're getting feedback. And once you get the feedback of, oh, what's this question? Then you turn it into a course. But you don't turn it into a course before you get the feedback so that you know that when I create this course, I know that people are going to resonate with it and they're going to get it because I've answered all the questions that they typically would have, in a one-to-many way that you're dispersing it out there. Okay. And then number 3 is then you're going to take all this and you're going to automate it and leverage it using AI. So if I'm going to make this a course or I'm going to make this a program and that's a video like what I'm doing right now, well, after this is done, I can take this same thing that I'm doing on this YouTube video and I can turn it into a book. I can turn it into a pamphlet. I can turn it into so many different things that is going to allow it to be able to be of benefit to you. That's it. And that's how you do it, you guys. And this matters. This matters so much because this is how you are able to make passive income. This is how you're able to have sustainability in your profession and in your workplace. You're able to do it if you have systems. You cannot detach your time from income generation if you don't have products. And you cannot create products if you don't have systems. So the question is, how do you create systems? You do that. And that's what I did with him. Now, there's so many different things that we can do with that I didn't even talk about. Like we can turn it into a custom GPT, a chat to where any active military can just type in whatever it is that they want to type in with regards to a property. And his framework can say, yeah, that's going to work or that's not going to work. There's so many things you can do with it, but you can now productize it based on the knowledge that you are feeding the system. And then the cool thing is that you can feed it more and more and more and more and more over time. And the system gets smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope that serves you. I hope that gives you an idea of the things that you can do and that everyone can turn whatever it is that you have into a system. And you don't need to have an LLC and you don't need to go and open up. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to start documenting what it is that you do and what you know. And then you need to take that information and start to put it in the machine of ChatGPT or whatever AI platform you use. I use ChatGPT and just tell it, this is what I need you to do for me. And then it will start to help to create the systems for you. So these are the things that I believe healthcare providers are missing. I believe this is the things that they're needing. And I believe that AI is the turbo boost that many of us need in order for us to turn what we have here into something that is repeatable, something that's scalable, something that you can follow and turn it into income. And the reality is much more impact. So if you guys are ready to turn your knowledge into a system, a repeatable system that pays you when you sleep, then I want you to consider joining our community. It's incomeaccelerator.ai/start. That's my community. And if you're not ready for that, then go ahead and join our free Facebook group. It's a success community on Facebook. And I go on there a couple times a week and just share free games. So anyways, I hope that helped. I hope that served you guys. And we'll see you on the next YouTube video. Bye for now.